the meeting to order. Notes from the last one.
Let me catch my breath. I make a motion that we accept the meetings for the August 19th meeting.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the August 19th meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Is that right, Dave?
Aye.
Motion carried.
We don't have anybody on the agenda today, but I did find some things we need to go over. The first sheet is Shannon's kind of update on the health department. She couldn't be here today. She just kind of wanted to touch base with you guys on what's happening.
I thought that the state was supposed to be able to kind of start taking over this contact information that they're having to spend so much time doing. Are they
Yeah.
not doing a very good job, the state?
I don't know. Last I knew they weren't, because they were still trying to hire people to do that. So, I'm sure Stafford County's not the top of anybody's list at Topeka, so.
Yeah.
Do you know? Are they helping with contact tracing or not? The state?
Not, I don't. She talked about it, but I don't know if they are or
Yeah,
not.
last I knew they were still trying to hire people, and,
You started out with only 10 people across the whole state.
Yeah.
I think that they wanted to hire something like 70 or so.
I don't think that's enough, because, I mean, 3 of them out here, no more than
No.
we have a hard
Now,
time.
we have more manpower here than they got for the whole state.
I
so,
think she's been doing most of it herself.
I don't think there's much choice right now.
So we're up to 29 now,
29 total.
17 active.
Yeah, so,
16, or, no, 19 active.
17.
what does it say? on-
Where is
17.
Two must have come off.
All right, one more.
Okay.
29, 17, and 51.
So people are recovering, thankfully, but we're still getting numbers. And they did that testing at the restaurant yesterday, so
Did they think they had a problem there?
they had 2 employees that came down with it. So I think that's why they ordered the testing. So,
I would think that if you worked at the restaurant, that you would basically try to, I don't know, hold yourself to a little higher standard.
well, yeah,
Or not be told to go to work after they knew you were positive.
so,
One other question, when people go get tested, are they told to stay home at that point in time?
they're told to, but you can't make them.
Who tells them?
Or the hospital or whoever, because she gets notified who's tested and there are instructions, but
Well, that deal with squeaks bothers
most
me.
of them don't follow it. And you can't force them to.
They're not following that, not everybody. Either they follow it to the letter, or they don't follow it at all.
And
There's no repercussion at all.
I mean, to me, it's kind of like driving drunk, really. If you know you've been tested, why wouldn't that be reckless abandonment, of individuals that you would
I
cover?
already talked to Mike about that, because we had arrested one, and he had been exposed and everything else, but when we were asking about it, he lied to us and told us, no, he hasn't been around anybody. But yet he lied to us, and he said there's no repercussion we could go on against him.
Yeah, that part bothers me, really.
But there's nothing we do. You just have to hope people are gonna do what they're supposed to do, but obviously that's fallen by the wayside.
That's what I wanted to talk to her about. about, to make sure that people were notified. And if they are, I would think, but Mike would know more whether there's anything to do about it, but I would think there'd be something to do about it because you're intentionally endangering other people, in my opinion. But if there's not, there's not. That gives little, or really nothing to back anything up.
They'll give Topeka something to do.
I just can't for the life of me know why, if you took a test, you'd go out the next night drinking.
Because people don't care.
Yeah, I'd like to make an example of somebody that did it. You could almost do it like a traffic fine even, just, even $100 might make them wake up or something.
It's not a law though.
Nobody in the state's doing that
It's a
either.
civil penalty, I guess. Easiest way to explain it. They're never talked about that side of it.
Well, if you talk to Mike about it, that's what I wanted to bring up.
Okay, the second sheet is, the reason we did that little AP run today is because Marshall had that tender truck at Maxville fixed at Central Power Systems. And you remember back in June, you authorized him to put a new motor in it for up to $6,000. The bill in the back is what he ended up spending, $3,000 and what, $281.95. We just wanted you guys to see what they did. But it is fixed.
So they didn't end up putting the motor in it, it was fuel and gas?
Whatever this sheet says, I'm not a mechanic.
So it basically cost half as much as what it cost?
It did. There will be a little tow bill. He had it towed from Manhattan to Salina to this place. And then, but they needed their money before they'd let him have it, so he can get it finished up. But he felt real good about the price.
Okay, so do we have possession of it now, or is it still somewhere?
They're gonna go get it, I think Friday, or maybe today. I don't know, he just needed the check, so we went ahead and cut it. But this is what they did to it, if you guys.
So it's mainly fuel.
And
Fuel
Jeffers
from,
It sounded like the pin was broke.
Third thing is an email I got concerning the census. They're wanting you guys to encourage people in Stafford County to fill out their census. It is used for funding for the county. So that's why you've got that.
How do you do that?
That's a good question.
do we,
Make a resolution?
uh,
I've heard it's pretty little.
What do you mean?
People not filling out the census.
That is pretty small?
Yes.
People aren't doing it, but again, you can't force people to do it.
It's like 70% of the
You can't force
whole state.
people to do anything.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, that's what,
that hurts.
does people not realize that's how you determine federal funding and stuff like
I
that?
guess we could do a proclamation.
We ought to do something and put it in the minutes.
I think we'd have Rob go around knocking on the doors What do they call that? Ballot harvesting?
Yeah.
Census harvesting?
Rob and Shannon can go around and knock on everything. It is, it's important though, if there's something we can do to get people to do that. You know, our numbers are important for a lot of different things. It's not very hard to do either.
No.
Are there people knocking on doors now trying to get people to do the census?
So that'll help.
That'll help. It doesn't take
I think we had
15
one
seconds.
register here in the city for the census, and a stranger was called in, so they had to go, police had to go check them out here in town and everything else.
It is a census worker?
That census work. We'll get calls on where we're down in that strange vehicles out in the county, and it's just census workers. Normally they come in and let us know where areas they might be working, but
The next one is a compliance review from PBD on the appraiser's office. They completed the appraisal cycle in a satisfactory manner. So, again, they're doing a good job in this.
Did you, ever get a bid on your enclosed trailer for the?
Not yet, I haven't had time.
You know, going back to the census, I think we could just insert this sentence, if it take 15 seconds to push the census response, it would be greatly appreciated. And then the next sentence, the census data is used for much funding throughout the state, and we deserve to get our fair share.
I've lost it. There you
First,
go. All right.
the second sentence, the second and third sentence.
Say that again, what you're going to change.
Well, I was just saying, insert this in the minutes, if they would take 15 seconds to push the census response, it would be greatly appreciated. And then the census data is used for so much funding throughout the state that we deserve to get our fair share of federal government. Or to get our fair share of the federal government. We have less than 41 days to get the complete count.
Period, yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, Anita?
Is it just federal money though, or is it state?
It's federal money.
Everything in the census,
And
yeah, the pigs are disproportionate, by the state too, when they use the
They get-
census figures.
yes. Then we get a portion of the state too.
Yeah, I would almost think, to get our fair share from the federal government and state, but I don't know. Who is Joyce Worshaw? Who is that census leader? Yeah, I think put something like that in the minutes, as people do read them a little bit, so.
Got it? Okay. The Secretary of State's office is purchasing for each county a drop box for ballots. Recharge. All we have to do is pay for the cement pad that it bolts down to. Initially, they were going to send 2 out to every county. We don't need 2 here, so I'm just going to get 1. If that's okay with you, we can put it somewhere out front. And people don't have to use it just for ballots, they can draw treasurer payments in there,
Yeah.
whatever. I had looked into buying one and they're quite costly, but they come up with COVID money, so they're gonna ship us a box for
Sounds
free.
good.
So,
Pretty much tamper-proof.
yeah. They say they are weatherproof, tamper-proof. I figured Phillips guys could, do a cement pad somewhere. Once we get it here, they can figure out what we need and hopefully get it in place before the winter.
Sounds good.
Would you put it near the flagpole or
See, I
on the
don't know.
curb or
I don't
at the
know.
alley?
Huh?
At the
I
alley?
don't know. I wonder
No.
where one of our cameras is gonna be on.
No, I'd leave it up.
So, I don't know, I need to talk to Philip, see what he thinks.
Leave it in a visible place.
Yeah, I'd rather it be out front somewhere.
But then if somebody wants to drop like their tax payments and stuff like
Yeah.
that, it'll be somebody's responsibility to check it, basically daily or something.
Yep. We need to replace the server in the courthouse. I had budgeted for it this year, what did I put in there? 10,000 is what we had budgeted for the new server. The one we're currently operating on is 5 years old, which we're running on borrowed time with it. So Randy worked me up a quote of $7,223. Top of the line, should last us hopefully another 5 years. But I need a motion to approve that purchase.
I make a motion that, you guys want to have a discussion? I make a motion that we accept the quote for a new server from RC Computers LLC at a Great Bend for $7,223.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and purchase the server from RC Computers for $7,223. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And Clay had asked me about working up something for salary increases for the health department. And you guys can talk about those and decide.
Are you sure the last one let it move her? It looks like she's gonna lose $3 an hour.
Whoops, those are switched around.
Okay.
Sorry.
I figured that, but
Yeah. Flip Kaylee's numbers around. I did that wrong.
my only thought on that is, are we sure that we want to do salary increase or a bonus? I mean, there's a lot of people that have a lot of extra work now from the COVID thing. Are we going to go through all of them, or?
I don't think so. It's just something that, I think they've gone well above and beyond their duties, and I think they should be rewarded. Now, to come up with a bonus, what would it be? I think it'd be better to just go ahead and increase their salaries and leave it in the system. And with these increases, it's well within your budget, so we don't have any problems with that.
The only thing is, I do know, like, Phil, Cindy, ordering stuff, I mean, it's increased our workload quite a bit too.
Well, we can look at it case by case, but I think this is the most important. And from what I was,
Why wouldn't you just do a bonus instead of an increase? Because if one of ours is over in a year, then if they go back to their normal deal, then they'll start, keep doing their step yearly increases. I mean, do we think they're underpaid right now for the positions they have? I'm talking about giving them a bonus for the extra, what they have to do now, but then this is going to be ongoing for the next 15 years that they work there.
That's kind of what I
And so,
thought.
for the department, I mean, if Bill and everybody else, we kind of set a standard for the workload on everybody else.
Yeah.
If we all have to do salary increases instead of just a one-time bonus.
Hopefully it doesn't last forever.
But if we do a bonus, how do we do that? I mean, what would that come out of? I mean, can the county do it, just a one-time bonus?
Well, I think you can't.
It would come out of the health department's budget. It would come out of county general.
Is there any, probably no, but is there any way that something like that could come out of COVID relief funds? I've heard of other counties doing that. I'm not sure exactly where they got it from.
No, because, I mean, overtime could, but those girls aren't turning in any overtime. We budgeted salaries regardless. So anything that you automatically budgeted for cannot come out of COVID. Now, if they were working Saturdays, Sundays, and turning in those hours, that might be a different story.
But they are working over.
Yeah, they are working over.
They're not turning it in overtime to do that.
I know, that'd be good.
Yeah, I know they are working overtime because I talked to
Yeah,
them.
they're there after 5 o'clock.
But you understand my concern there, Clay?
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, right now, it's, if we feel like we're underpaying them for what they're doing, I don't have a problem giving them a raise, you know, because I mean, somewhere down the line, if one of them decides to quit and we have to hire them, we're gonna have to be competitive. If these aren't competitive salaries, then we do need to raise them. But if we're giving them, because of the extra work they're doing right now, and for the next, hopefully, 6 months to a year, that then give them a salary increase when they'll go ahead and continue to get their step raises, I mean, they're getting a reward for the next 15 years.
The only thing I'm saying is that, you know, and I thought this would be the, you know, the first step. I mean, this is all, you know, subject to discussion, but they need to be rewarded somehow. You know, whether it be a bonus or a stipend or a salary increase, it's immaterial to me, but they need recognition and they need to be monetarily rewarded for what they're doing.
I kind of like the bonus idea because the other way is kind of permanent. Of course, you could revisit it, but you know that you're probably not ever going to drop your salary scale back down.
I'd be in favor of just giving them all a $4,000 bonus for right now, and if this thing continues, I mean, we can look at it, you know, again in a while. But I mean, instead of trying to step, you know, Shannon gets more, Emily gets more, Katie, you know, gets less. I mean, they're all doing the same amount of phone call answering and butt chewings and stuff. So I mean, I would just say one bonus, the same bonus for everybody. I mean, that's kind of what I'm feeling. That's what I'd be more interested in.
Did you, how did you come up with that number? Did you use any figures or?
I looked at what Shannon's increase would be,
Okay.
and it's a little bit more than that. But I mean, I think they deserve for what, you know. And you know, if this continues on for another year or 6 months, just pure hell, I think we'll look at more.
Do it again.
But I'd be more comfortable doing that than a salary increase that's going to go on for the next 15 years.
Now, there is one thing that we do, in case of replacements, we can set our own step and ranges. I mean, they wouldn't automatically, a new hire would come in at step 12, range 4. I mean, it would be
basically, we're kind of paying a bonus starting the end of March when things got crazy, from March to right now. And it'll probably continue on. It's probably gonna continue on probably.
Until there's a vaccine developed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not quite a year, but it's probably gonna be close, yeah.
So basically, right now, what we're giving is a bonus for the last 6 months.
Correct.
And so we should look at it again in another 6 months.
That's what I would say.
Well,
Is what I said doable, Nina?
Sure.
the only thing I wanted to do was get the ball rolling.
Yep.
Don't they all be the same?
It's up to you guys.
I didn't hear what you
I just said, should they all be the same? Is that gonna create problems?
The way I would see it, I mean, Kaylee has a lot less responsibility, but she's also the first one that fields most of the calls and complaints, and probably does a lot of the contact.
I think they all do a lot of calling,
Yeah.
probably equal, or I shouldn't say equal, but they all do a lot of calling.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they all hear a lot of stuff too. I like the bonus idea a little bit better myself.
Are you happy?
It's fine with me. I mean, it's just, like I said, I wanted to get this started and finished.
And when you say finish, I mean, I
Well-
feel like this is something that we might revisit in 6 months.
I would think so.
Yes.
And you can always do the salary thing.
And the other thing, and this is going back, rather than September 1, it's really gonna go back, to March 1, or whenever this
Into March,
Yeah.
whole thing started, so.
or middle of March.
Yeah.
But I just don't like the idea of that office getting these abusive phone calls and profanity, and it's not right. Now, whether we need to put a recorder on the telephone and record every conversation
I
that comes in there, then so be it, but.
I seriously thought about volunteering, I'd take a couple of those calls for.
Yeah. You ought to tell them that next time they get a profanity call like that, to just give them my number and tell them to give permission.
I was gonna tell her that.
I would handle some of those calls.
I was gonna tell her that, but just haven't had a chance to communicate that, but.
If you talk to Shannon, Nita, if you want to tell her if they have some real upset people that they just call commissioners, I don't have a problem with her giving out my number to somebody that's that upset about it.
Yep.
I would
If they're
talk to
profane
them.
and-
So I'm going to make a motion that the discussion's done on this.
Are you gonna do this in proportion or just across the board?
Mine would be just across the board, same for all of them.
All right.
I make a motion that we give the 3 employees, do I need to state their names? At the health department, a $4,000 bonus for the extra hours and time and more work that's been put on, $4,000 bonus.
Second?
Have a motion and a second to give a $4,000 bonus to the health department employees for all the extra duties that they've endured recently. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Have you heard any updates from Misty on, did she get in contact with Chad? Oh, do we need to make a motion to accept that building and action?
Oh, yeah, we probably do. Yep.
Have they? So we have a.
Well, I thought they were gonna, did they contact anybody?
Misty was supposed to, I don't know if she did.
Supposed to get a contract.
So I guess we'll wait
We
till we
better
get
wait
the
till we
contract
get
and
the
then we'll
contract.
accept it. Okay.
I forgot all about that, but yeah, we need that.
Do you want to discuss the
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do we want to state the person's name?
No.
We got a text from Rose Valley, a farmer, is very upset down there because the county guys went down and mowed, and he planted right, I mean, right on the edge of the road. And when they mowed 15 foot the width of the mower, which is the right of way, and they're stating that we owe them $600.
Really?
Yeah, it was, the text message was kind of, he didn't know whether it was, what was that, through ignorance?
I'll
or-
show it to you.
I mean, it's the right of way. I don't farm my ditches shut. I stay back from my ditches because I understand that the water runs off the road into the ditch. And if I use that poor excuse that I need to farm the ditch to keep the weeds down, then I don't have a ditch. So unless we're gonna change the rules for everybody, if you plant right to the road, you might as well figure on losing 15 foot of crop. That's my point of view.
And isn't that,
You still have a copy of that? I can't find it.
isn't that under Kansas statutes that the right of ways are not to be, huh? Right?
Well, we have the right to take care of our own right of ways.
But in county roads is 40 feet or 60 and counties
There are exceptions to that, though. You know, the picture probably tells you about as good as anything.
He does it on the highways too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blacktops, when they plant too close, he mows it off.
yeah.
Don't
Oh, I-
plant the ditches.
I've had crops mowed off, it's no big deal if it's.
Todd, was this on a dirt road? or
Yes,
was
it's on dirt road.
What do you think?
I can see both sides of it. They're mowed once a year.
Yep.
You know, they get horrible. They don't, that's part of the township's problem for not getting the county out there more often to mow. So I can see why somebody would plant a ditch,
Yeah.
because they aren't maintained like some of the other townships. But you run that risk,
Yeah.
planting in the ditch.
So you pay taxes on that.
They need to understand that, but I mean, you know, like in Douglas Township, we usually try to mow 3 times a year.
Yeah.
But we also have Ryan chemical mows. But it's
Hang on
aggravating,
just a second.
you know, when you mow, we'll get a good stand of grass.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have them come out and these applicators just spray Roundup right up and then it kills the grass. And then you run out of the
You
weeds.
got it?
Yeah.
And then the farmers don't want to work it.
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
What'd you
they
say?
need to quit spraying the ditches,
said he got
farm
that
the
right.
ditches. And even if they can get them mowed twice a year,
Because it's a moot point.
which that township ought to have
Well,
chemical mowed and then mowed.
They
He could
may
send
have mowed them twice
What
this
gets
year.
me is,
But
you know, we have.
They've been individually worse
Supply
than
stuff.
any other surrounding township, for sure.
Yeah,
So I
I'm
can see
not
why
saying
somebody
that
would get frustrated and.
if I'm
jump
mowing
in.
and I see a perfect stand, there's not a weed there, but I'm gonna mow it, I might drive a half mile around.
Yeah.
But still, legal.
I would think. for
There's
sure.
no doubt.
It's
It's our.
Yeah.
right away.
But if you go drive a half mile around somebody that's planted in the ditch, and then the next guy hasn't,
It's
that
not-
kind of encourages the next guy, well, you might as well go ahead and farm the ditch and pick up that extra half.
You're exactly right.
And this field was in cotton, so we mowed off 15 foot of cotton. So when they pick that cotton and it drops out of round bale and it's on our right of way and we allowed it and I run into that, is the county open for a lawsuit?
Oh, I don't think so, since he dropped the bail.
Yeah.
But we allowed it. You know, it's the same reason why we turned down round bale in the ditches, you know, up on Eden Valley Road, because if we give somebody permission to do that and then somebody runs into a round bale in the ditch, I feel like we're opening ourselves up for lawsuit.
Either way, there's gonna be people upset and not see it, but I think you just gotta look at it from legally, it's the right way. I mean, that's. Might not like it, but it's the right way.
Yes.
Now, I will tell you one time about 12 years ago, before the state decided not to mow all the right of way, I was bailing on 281 highway and I dumped out a bale that on the edge of it was on my land, but on the right of way, it rolled down into the right of way. So I was gonna finish bailing and go pick it up. Lo and behold, when I was on the other end bailing, I saw a State Department truck go in there and just shove it and busted all the bales to drive it back 4 or 5 feet on the right of way. I was not a happy camper. So I understand, stupid, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I met him down there before he got away with the pickup. So you gotta use a little, you know, use a little common sense if anybody understands what common sense is, but still.
Yeah.
I think that's going out the window a long time.
The thing that really bothers me on that is like when I see it on the Southwest Road sometimes, and they'll mow over like 2 rows of corn. And it's just like, you know, just move over
Yeah.
a foot. It could have been an error, you know what, it's not blatantly mowing or planting the whole ditch.
Yeah.
You know, it was probably an error, and it just looks like the mow. It's just the principle. of-
I've had 2 rows of corn mowed off
Yeah.
numerous times, Bryce, and yeah, but I also realize that's the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean,
You know, when they put the edge of the mower, our right of way on the blacktops are basically 30 foot on both sides. So when you put the edge of the mower on the blacktop, and then you mow right next to
I mean,
that next time,
it's
and you
not
mow
easy.
off 2 rows of corn, we're doing the whole right of way, but then you say 2 rows of corn, and then the next time it's 3 rows of
Yeah.
corn. So I mean, where do you draw that line?
Yeah.
You say, you only mow off 3, but you don't mow off 2, you know? There's gotta be some, and what's easiest for the county is just mow the damn, you know, mow the full 60 foot.
If they do it. Then you get people mad when they don't do that, though. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody
Including
ought to
me.
be treated the same, mow the full right of way. I mean, on Dillon Road, I plant my weed over just a little bit, and then they mow it back, and that way we have a strip that doesn't have. What I'd like to see our weed department do is drive up in the field and then spray back to the ditch to where you don't have the cheat and rye, and especially on Dillon Road, joint grass coming up out of the ditch.
I made that same wish, and I think he's gonna start doing that a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought, right on my land, I don't care, just spray that.
But, you know, if Ryan tries to spray straight up to the feet, you know, right to the edge, then on a windy day, if it blows over 3 foot in somebody's field, then they're mad. So I mean, you just can't please everybody. You'll always have somebody mad about something.
As if that 2 feet's gonna make any difference when commodity prices are where they're at.
Yeah. I've never seen a more detailed description of what the mechanic did to a vehicle. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Got a little mini microphone. Talk into it.
Yeah, I've got it.
Oh, you got that?
Yeah.
Anything else?
You guys should drive by we had a firework day Saturday where they've been working on the training facility down there. And you guys ought to drive by and take a look at that. It's starting to come together and look pretty good. Glad to see Tom got all the black paint off of it. He painted the containers with the sprayer black. He looked about like that refrigerator in there.
Was he wearing a mask?
You were wearing a mask, wasn't you?
Somewhat of a mess, so.
And his arm.
How much is in your mouth? Standing in your nose.
Yeah, let's put it this way, it took about another 30 minutes when I got home and he cleaned up, so
It doesn't catch too much of paint.
pretty much wearing a pair of jeans and a shirt, so.
Should have put on one of those hazmat suits. And then-
No. I've had all the fun that I want when on hazmat suits. When I was about, 15 years younger, it wasn't a problem, but I hate them things.
Darren also called me yesterday, and he's in seventh heaven with his new loader.
Oh,
He
good.
said he can't hear it run, his back doesn't hurt anymore, he's thrilled with what he can do.
Well, at least we have one happy employee.
Yeah.
somewhere.
He was tickled pink.
Rob, you had something?
I'm just making you aware, I talked with Randy, and he is checking into the Barton County jail, so we can have a first appearance camera system. They're different than what we use in Rice County. Rice County, we have a fee, I think it's $400 a year, we've been paying for years, and it's doing okay. This time there's a fee, it's a little bit pricier, but it's a one-time fee, I believe he said $2,000 or $2,400, I'm not sure which one. But over a couple of years, it'll pay for itself, but it's a one-time fee only for first appearances, so we don't have to go get them or anything else, and it does pay for itself after, in the long run. So he's checking into that for us, if he can do it and everything else, it'll probably come out of one of my non-budgeted accounts.
Didn't we do that with Kyle?
We had one in Kiowa, we got to where we didn't use it that much because it was farther, so we pulled all of our equipment from Kiowa, reset it up in Rice County and set it there.
All right.
And do we
But-
use Pratt?
Pratt, we don't have one there. They don't even use anything like that either, so. We tried their Zoom system and it didn't work at all on Pratt. Something about the building just shuts it all down. Great Bend, they use the system, they use it all the time for across the street there. They said it should be nothing to get through the firewall, hook it up for us to use it here for first appearances. And that's the chip jails we've been using because Barton has been down a little bit on numbers, and so if they're down on numbers a little bit, they do take our people.
Primarily Rice County, though.
Still primarily Rice County. But it's getting harder and harder, they're wanting medical clearance and everything else before they come in.
Oh, you mean for your transport?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So that, it's getting harder for us to transport, so it's probably gonna get harder for the PDs because I'm not gonna take possession of their people if they're not medically cleared. If I have to get them medically cleared just to go there, they should do it first so it never just relies on us only.
Anything else? Should we recess for a while, or are you ready to adjourn?
I don't see any crowd out there.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we will adjourn.